Hey everybody, this is Staged here. I'm going to be solo casting, and I want to bring you a replay cast of Wasted Youth and Soul Invictus. So, we're going to treat this just like a live cast, except for, well, I already got the chance to see the results, unfortunately. I'm not going to spoil it, and I can see the length of this game, and it being an hour and 7, this is going to be a doozy. Luckily, I poured myself a drink, unmuted the audio before we got too far in there, and I am ready to go, so go ahead and kick your feet up, pour yourself something to drink, and we are going to see some Contender League action between Soul Invictus and Wasted Youth. I was supposed to cast a Soul Invictus game the week prior, and unfortunately my schedule and sanity didn't quite allow for it, but this is my remuneration for you folks. I was asked by Talus and Nomad to pick this up, and I've seen a couple of familiar faces there on Wasted Youth as well. I've seen Princess before, I think I've seen Lava. GSP was previously one of the players for Pot of Greed, who's now moved up to the intermediate division, so definitely some people that I'm familiar with, but I will admit I also haven't done too much homework on this, so we are going to learn as we go. Alright, Ban's starting to come in. Wasted Youth targets out the Doom and the Bane very early, so the thing that I'm immediately seeing there is big, single target disable with long duration. They want to keep that off the table. Likewise, with Soul Invictus, they're banning out the Oracle and the Lich, two very defensive-oriented supports in very different ways. Oracle having the Dispel from, I believe that's called Fortune's End, and Lich having the fantastic damage reduction from Frost Armor. But first picks coming out here, we have Lina on the side of Wasted Youth, and Soul Invictus taking up the Snapfire. So I kind of like these both as early flex picks. They're both able to move into the mid lane. They're both able to play in position 4. And once in a blue moon, you can have them flex into something different. Sand King for Wasted Youth. The other thing to mention as well is I believe this game was played on the new patch. And this is one of the first games that any of these teams are going to have played on the new patch. This is the day of the patch, and it's not like you can roll it back to play these lobby games. So if I'm correct about this being played on 7/28, there's a lot of things to consider here. So kind of breaking it down a little bit, though, I want to start thinking about just how these teams are going to play, who's been winners, who's been losers in the patch, and also recognizing that I haven't really been playing a whole lot on the new patch either, so there's a lot of things that I don't even know. So just looking at Wasted Youth, they have two very powerful magical damage heroes. With the Sand King and the Lina, they have good lockdown. I think they're going to have no problem killing anyone or pushing lanes, but their tower damage might be a little bit suspect, and neither Lina nor Sand King are extremely survivable. They're evasive, they're quick, but if you get on top of them, they're pretty easy kills. So that's just things I want to think about. Soul Invictus, the Snapfire and the Slardar, a little bit on the beefier end so far. Slardar got hit a little bit by the patch, minor nerfs to him. And Snapfire, I honestly can't remember. I think she was too far down the list for me to remember that hero anymore. So, in general, this is a very good utility hero, and you bring a decent amount of burst, some heavy magical damage for a finisher towards the mid-game once you get Mortimer's Kisses. And in general, I can see these two being part of a pretty heavy gank squad, where the big thing you're going to need then is just some way of bringing down towers for Soul Invictus. Second phase of ban starting up. Anti-Mage and Faceless Void banned out by Wasted Youth, targeting the position 1 pretty heavily. Soul Invictus splitting their position of ban by banning out the Troll Warlord. They get some minor buffs from him. Pretty nifty Aghanim Shard, and Leshrac, who in my opinion is going to be one of the enormous winners of this patch.
5 seconds remaining.
But Anti-Mage is definitely gotten some pretty nifty tools from 728, and I can see why Wasted Youth wouldn't want to deal with that. Especially when you do have a little bit of a finicky, I guess I would say, kill composition in your first two heroes. If you have anything else that's also unreliable in their stuns and their disables and their nukes, then it means the anti-mage would be very, very slippery. Soul Invictus not going to be able to play the Juggernaut from Wasted Youth. And the last ban is Medusa. So, Soul Invictus is kind of banning out some of the beefier heroes, or heroes that like to build a little bit beefier towards the mid and late game. And then Wasted Youth would be able to use that to round out their lineup, like I said before. The heroes that they have are a little bit on the squishier end if they get caught. I also really like Slardar as an answer to Sand King, because the Corrosive Haze will be able to reveal him even through Sandstorm. Likewise, I think Jakiro here starts solving some of the minor issues that you'd have on Soul Invictus and giving them an opportunity to really push towers. Dazzle. Alright, that's a hero we really didn't see too much in the last patch. In fact, it was one of 4 or 5 heroes that was completely absent, I believe, from the Epicenter event. So, there's been some minor changes, tweaks to his kit, cooldowns, etc., that I wonder if it's going to allow Dazzle to be more playable. The other thing to think about as well is Dazzle doesn't necessarily like to play against Axe in the mid-game, but can dominate him in lane. And Dazzle has a couple of heroes that he really likes to be paired with, heroes like Huskar, or Troll Warlord, who is banned, or even Alchemist. So we'll have to see if either of those come out for Wasted Youth. Ursa? And that's going to give them still a bit of an issue in pushing towers, but I hope that Jakiro can solve that for them. But now I'm looking at just Snapfire, Slardar, Ursa. And these 3 heroes are terrifying in terms of just how much damage, how much stick they have in these fights. Ursa Jakiro as a lane, not too bad. It's not outstanding or spectacular, but definitely has a lot of kill potential. Might not do so well against Sand King and possibly Lina. So Terrorblade is not a hero that I would expect to go very well with Dazzle, but the more I think about it, I actually really like it. Terrorblade's going to have the ability to Sunder to get himself off of low health, but one of the things that he runs into as a problem is if he's silenced, stunned, or otherwise crowd controlled as he's being burst down, then he doesn't get the opportunity to Sunder. So Dazzle with Shallow Grave will be able to bring Terrorblade back and keep him on that brink, Sunder back up to high health, and Terrorblade's able to keep on fighting. I do like this combination. Dazzle's also very, very strong in terms of harassing in early levels in lane, and might be able to do some pretty good work against this Slardar once Terrorblade uses Metamorphosis. Terrorblade also gives an answer to how do you take towers for Wasted Youth.
10 seconds remaining.
Generally, I think that Wasted Youth's draft is very well-rounded here, and I give it a little bit of an edge over Soul Invictus, but they definitely still need a mid laner unless they're going to put Lina in mid. A lot of mid lane bans here coming out. No Viper, no Zeus, no Queen of Pain. What's the last one here? The last ban for Soul Invictus going to be?
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team pick.
Templar Assassin. You know, I wouldn't be worried about Templar Assassin all that much if I'm Soul Invictus, because worst comes to worst, you can flex the Jakiro into mid and find another support. Now, it does mean you're left with the problem of having Jakiro mid, but I honestly think that with the new shard for Soul Invictus, Liquid Frost is a legitimately amazing pickup for Jakiro, and turns him into a DPS powerhouse. But, again, new patch, there's a lot of new things to consider. I'm not going to begrudge them the Templar Assassin ban at all. So, Wasted Youth needing a mid laner here. I'd like them to have somebody who can be very early active on the map and very mobile. Kunkka's not bad, pairs very well with Lina and the Sand King. I would have expected to see one of the Spirits myself, but I think that but I do like the Kunkka, if nothing else, for his synergy with Lina. And for Soul
10
Invictus,
seconds remaining.
they're very much all in on this gank-style play. They
5
don't have
seconds
Lashrak
remaining.
at their availability. I want to see a hero who's able to put more pressure onto towers than just Jakiro, and still participate a little bit in some of the push style. Additionally, I think they need more magic damage. So the first thing that comes to mind is Pugna, but I don't think that works out too well here. I'm trying to rack my brain for other magic damage heroes who are also going to be able to put some push down. And maybe you can forego the pushes. You do have Jakiro, and you do have a couple of, like, B-tier pushers, and go with one of the spirits, like we were talking about before, that would give you the opportunity of kind of chasing down and terrorizing Terrorblade in his own jungle. So something like Storm wouldn't be too awful. Additionally, you could go Monkey King on Soul Invictus and just completely dumpster Kunkka in lane. It would leave your team without a lot of magic damage, but I think Monkey King provides a lot of what Soul Invictus is looking for. We're going to have to see. I'm looking over right now to make sure that I'm actually recording. Everything is looking good so far. I gotta apologize again, too, to Soul Invictus. I was supposed to be recording this earlier for them. Supposed to be giving them a cast from last week, and, well, we all know how the world is out there right now. There's a lot of stress. It's coming close to the holidays. And even if you're not necessarily with family, it's the kind of thing where I've been feeling it myself. I've been having a hard time. And I know I don't gotta make any excuses to you guys, but, I always feel self-conscious. That's the best way to put it. Soul Invictus using all of their time here, ending up with a
Now
sniper.
select your heroes.
Interesting. So Sniper is not going to give them much magic damage. Gives them pretty good push. A lot of bully in lane. But I don't think I particularly like it. If I'm just looking at the draft here, I think I give a very slight edge to Wasted Youth. I think Terrorblade's going to have a moderately difficult time in lane at about level 3. I think mid lane should be a bit of a wash, maybe favoring Sniper ever so lightly. And I think the off lane for Wasted Youth should have a minor advantage. I think they can take on an Ursa pretty well. I don't think Ursa's going to have a very good lane. And I think that is a big part of what is going to turn this into a slight lead for Wasted Youth. Alright, that being said, the more important part of this game is the cosmetics. And everybody is rocking some amazing cosmetics except Snapfire. Snapfire, as we know, doesn't really have any cosmetics out yet, one of the newest heroes. But honestly, you're losing in the swag war by picking up this hero. So let's try and get the game to fast forward a little bit out of the janky draft phase that seems to be going on for quite a while. Do they pause this, I wonder? Okay, here we go. Back to normal speed. I also just realized, forgive me on this. I need to do that, or else we aren't going to get some smooth camera. Switch this over to free cam.
Prepare
I think
for
there's a
battle.
way of cutting the obs there out, but I can never remember in replays. Alright, so GSP is going mid. If this is the same GSP who previously played for Pot of Greed, they used to play position 4, so an interesting switch up here. Maniac here in the top lane on position 4. Lava playing 3. This all checks out with things that I've seen before. Woe has 1 Tango, Windlace, and Stick. Will be going to the bottom lane, but first playing to secure the Bounty Rune at top. Bit of a disconnect issue. We'll go ahead and take a look at where things are in the rest of the game. Let's take a look at the position 1 here on Princess. So, Quelling Blade, Slippers, Otherwise, nothing too special. Going to be looking for the double Wraithband build into Treads. Very, very standard stuff for Terrorblade. Goat Satan playing Slardar on position 3. Pretty standard stuff. We'll be going Bracer into Treads and looking for the Blink play. I like that on Slardar. Nomad will be in the mid lane. He's got the ward that he should be looking to drop. I wonder if he's going to do it early. One of the things that I found about mid lane, and I would have never known this without having some good players coach me, is that getting your ward out there early, being the first one to drop your ward, yes, it means it expires first, but you're able to see where your opponent puts their ward, unless they put it in a place that you can't see. So it gives you a lot of information about where the enemy has vision, and you're even able to use that as a means of dewarding if you so choose. Which there's not a whole lot of reason not to do, so I would have liked to have seen Sniper just immediately rush to the lane, but then again, because Sniper is such a slow hero, I can see the case for holding it too. Alright, KJP, going to be playing position 4 Snapfire, already ready to queue up the headdress to give a little bit more health regen to Slardar. Will probably be pretty important in a lane against a Terrorblade and Dazzle. Ursa here, Orb of Venom, pretty standard stuff, as well as, I wouldn't mind Ursa getting the new Orb of Corruption out of the Orb of Venom. Let's see if he plays that out. Let's take a look too at the shop and see if this is on the new patch. Yes. Yes, it is. There's the Aghanim Shard. Could have also taken a look at the UI as well. And then lastly here we have Talus on the Jakiro going to position 5. 4 Tangos, has a Sentry. That's a pretty important thing to notice. So if the extra ward will be top, we'd have to take a look at these heroes one more time. The extra ward will be top. There is a chance to deward Lena's Observer. But let's go ahead and step out of the endless pause here. See if we can ever make it away. Don't know how long this pause was. There we go. There's a reconnect. We have a go. So a pretty long pause. I'm glad we stepped away from that. Whoa, Maniac and Lava here lining up over top of the river. Hoping to get some action on the bounty runes here. One of the other things to think about as well, with the new night start, it is much more difficult to know what it is you are lining up against in the river. It also means that heroes like Night Stalker, Batrider, and Bane are that much more valuable for their extended vision at night. 4 heroes clumped up here. In fact, GSP waiting on the bounty rune at top. Going to charge in, Dazzle to support from near the secret shop. Talus and Wooba going in immediately. No skill from Lava. Light Strike Array picking up 2. Wooba still wants to go in for more. Showing off the Fury Swipes. But not getting too much damage out there yet. 2 heroes in bottom lane. Goat Satan and KJP might have a chance to get a little bit of an advantage onto the Terrorblade that they're playing against. Unless the Dazzle makes a speedy rotation. Princess, though, playing very close to tower, even blocking it a little bit, brings the wave under tower. Makes it a little bit harder to farm, unfortunately, and another disconnect on Lena. Alright, we'll go ahead and just try and skip forward on that, huh? Okay, here we go. There's the reconnect. Lena waiting in the trees here in top lane.
Get away, you.
Playing pretty far away from Talus, but getting out that Observer. Very important. LSA into Dual Breath. A little bit of damage here. You have Burrow Strike on Lava, but it's a very short radius at level 1. Just using it to get the last hit on the range creep. I think this mid lane is going to be where we want to keep an eye on. Nomad playing incredibly aggressive at level 2. Throws the Shrapnel out, running alongside Kunkka to dish out this damage. GSP is having a rough time of it. Actually going to be driven out of his lane. The Shrapnel coming out behind the tower. GSP is not allowed to be anywhere near his creep wave. He needs more regen. Eating a tree. Eating his own tree, in fact, that he drops. Torrents up Sniper. A little bit of poke damage here. Sniper is going to have a shrapnel in 1 second. Not going to hold on to it, though. Takes 2 shower shots for his trouble. And now both these heroes at critically low health in the mid lane. Sniper already regenning off of his own trees as well. No kills landing yet. I just realized my settings hadn't fixed themselves. I thought they had. A little bit of harass overall. But ultimately, a pretty passive lineup. It feels like everything that the Dire want to be doing, everything that Soul Invictus want to be doing, there is some answer for Wasted Youth. It's just a matter of how good is that answer. The big problem here is you have a Sniper who is doubling up on a Kunkka in the mid lane. Kunkka is not a hero who likes playing very much from behind, and it definitely looks like that's going to be the case. A little bit of plays over here, just blocking the creeps out from under tower.
Bottom is missing.
Without Jakiro in the lane with him all the way back, Lava might be trying to make a play onto Wooba, but Talus shows up now, gets the dual breath, liquid fire as well. Shouldn't turn into anything. Light strike array. A lot of harass in this lane, but everybody is staying incredibly healthy. Lava does steal the creeps away. He's going to be able to use that to farm in relative safety. Just a way of kind of making the lane a little bit cheesier. But trying to do it quickly with the Caustic Finale. So he's not going to maintain equilibrium of the lane. He's just going to take it and push it back in. Nomad's tanking creeps in the mid lane. That could be a little bit dangerous for him if he's not careful, but he has the salve to run, so it's just going to bring his health all the way back up. Let him tank this until he can maintain the equilibrium, and that's going to mean that Kunkka is never allowed to approach this wave. Kunkka considering it. The tower's taking a few pot shots on the creeps, trying to push the equilibrium, but it should stay pretty close in. Not with 2 range creeps, though. And Kunkka using an XTP to make it back to base to refill that bottle. That's one of the obnoxious things about playing against this hero in particular, is his ability to just make it back to the base. He's never out of bottle charges. You have to burst him down. Lina disconnecting again. Princess is very low in the bottom lane. Terrorblade is not exactly known as a hero that is a lane dominator. You just want to get your farm, and that's exactly what he's doing. You can see on the left side here where he is leading the last hit deny chart. In fact, even over the Sniper in the mid lane, who we were talking about having a great lane. So Princess is doing a very good job in bottom lane. Lava definitely in the losing end of the cores here, though. Hero with generally low damage. He's just now getting his bracer in about 50 gold. 2 creep last hits. And that means that he's going to be relatively squishy. And this is already a hero that has a little bit of tankiness issues for being a strength hero. Not what I was expecting out of the Sand King versus Ursa matchup. But I think a lot of it comes down to the way that Talus is playing this lane, dropping the dual breath, the liquid fire, everything out there. Makes it very hard for a Sand King to exist. You can't even hide in Sandstorm from that AoE and damage over time. One of the things that I recently had brought to my attention about Dota in particular that I never even thought about is just how incredibly present damage over time is. And, like, continuous damage effects. You don't even think about it until when you've been playing for so long, but there's so many abilities that are huge impacts to the game that are just damage over time. Princess losing the range creep, but pops Metamorphosis. You have to Guardian Sprint into the woods, and Goat Satan is going to make it away. He reads this play perfectly with Woe working around behind. Princess still wants to run forward, but this is not a fast hero. You don't even have boots yet on Terrorblade. That is coming out on the courier. And because of that, Princess is just going to have to use this time to farm. Bounties are up. Trying to contest out Talus here. Talus is being driven away. Gives Ursa lots and lots of time to farm up, though. Talus trying to play into the Roche pit. Wants to suicide to Roche. Light Strike Array not quite able to suicide that down. And first blood comes in at 5 minutes with Talus dying on Jakiro. Princess continuing to farm up, ever so slightly behind the sniper in terms of last hits, but a lot of that is just from basically foregoing an entire wave in favor of trying to be aggressive onto the Slardar and the Snapfire combo. Partial pull. Talus also setting up a stack for another stack pull. Light Strike Array not landing. Lava's very low on health. He gets hit by the Dual Blast and the Inner Fire, and just an Earth Shock and a few more right clicks out of Ursa means that Lava Sand King will be back underground for a few moments. And overall, still just waiting for something to give in this game. Ursa does have that Orb of Corrosion, so it's a nasty, nasty effect. It makes him so incredibly damaging, so incredibly lethal. Lava trying to contest these creeps out. Earthshock. Light Strike Rory whiffing on Wooba. Princess getting bashed up. This could be very bad for Princess. Cookie going back in. And Princess is going to fall. 2 kills to 1 so far. 2 uncontested kills on the side of Soul Invictus. I feel like both of those were very preventable, too. Lava trying to get aggressive on relatively low health earlier, leading to the first kill. And Princess just being so far extended into a lane that you know has kill threat. Woe might even be facing it too here. He's using Shallow Grave on himself. Not enough mana on the Slardar for a Slithering Crush. But he still just deals so incredibly much with the Bash of the Deep. Sorry about that, everybody. I forgot to turn off invites. One of these days, I'll learn how to be a professional caster. Wooba making the play onto Lava. Earthshock out, trying to slow him down. Dual Breath as well. He's going to have to go Invis. Ice Path catching him out. They've got the True Sight on him. Light Strike Array is enough to stall the Ursa, but not enough to save the life. And now Maniac has to teleport away.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
GSP in the mid lane, bottling up a haste rune, but with how far... Well, he's actually caught up pretty well. I thought he was still quite behind. But once you get Tidebringer to a high enough level, Kunkka does pretty well for himself. He is still behind in net worth, because I think a lot of his experience, or a lot of his last hits are from the jungle. Additionally, there have been a couple of kills for the Dire that he has not been able to be involved in. Obviously, you know, being on part of the Radiant. Alright, gonna have a lot of pauses this game, apparently. That could actually be the reason why the game is quite so long. It might be a relatively shorter game, and it's just Maniac's connection being fussy. Sniper with the power treads, 2 Wraith Bands. He should be looking into his core items now. I'm guessing that we're going to see a Dragon Lance, could also be something like a Maelstrom, or even one of the new items. Against this comp, I wouldn't so much go for the Witch's, Witch Killer, Witch Slayer, whatever, but maybe getting the Falcon Blade would be good for Sniper here. GSP trying to contest that out, but Sniper's a little bit too squirrely for him. Woe is alone in the bottom lane, just trying to soak up some of this. Terrorblade's moving to the triangle, and that's the KJP's cue to move out into the jungle, go hunting for him. They're not going to find him just yet. But it does mean you have the TP coming into mid, trying to defend Nomad. GSP loses his courier. Still has the full bottle, though. Again, it is so incredibly difficult to remove the bottle control from a Kunkka. Converging back into the bottom lane. They might be looking for a kill onto Woe, but walking directly by a oddly placed Observer Ward. Should be enough Q to back off a little bit. There's the Corrosive Haze going to Cookie forward, dodged out by Woe. Even with the minus armor, just not able to put enough damage on. Smart positioning by Woe. Wooba wants to make a play onto Maniac here. Earthshock to dodge the Light Strike array, but Burrow Strike is more than enough. Pops the Enrage, but with the Terrorblade here as well, Wooba reconsidering his course of action of playing onto Lina. And he's going to retreat back to its tower. Broom Handle going to be taken away, perhaps. Needs one more right click, and unfortunately, Lina is not quite able to bring down the courier. Well microed by Wooba.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Woe dying in the bottom lane. At level 7, I feel like Slardar is absolutely one of the strongest heroes on the map. And even with him being at this low of health, you can use tread switching to give yourself enough mana for Corrosive Haze at almost any point in time.
Radiant's bottom tower
Wooba should be making a play onto Lava again. So much damage, and with the Orb of Corrosion, it's so incredibly hard to deal with. But now all this magic damage coming out. The Dragon Slave, Light Strike Array as well. Burrow Strike in the Sandstorm. Lava's waiting in the Sandstorm, has to make it out of that Macropyre, though. Macropyre doing a great job of zoning them off. Dual Breath coming across the front, trying to bring down Lava. He will be taking a lot of damage over time. But now the X and the boat, the timing is missed. Boat's going to whiff. Talus trying to make it away. He should be okay. TP coming in from Goat Satan. Wooba wants to make the play now forward. He is slowed down, though, by the Poison Touch from Dazzle, and a beautiful Torrent catches, too. This leaves Wooba very, very low and in danger. All three heroes with Dire in danger, in fact. Goat Satan may be on the receiving end of this beatdown. Dragon Slave needs a little bit more damage. I think he's going to make it away. Absolutely. This is not where Wasted Youth want to be. They bring three heroes down to the precipice of death, but kill none of them, losing their mid tower in exchange for it. They're down 2 towers. You're down a hero, and you're not closing out on these kills. It's 7-1 in favor of Soul Invictus. So good draft or not, Wasted Youth is having a tough time with this game. Goat Satan showing up right on top of Maniac, basically, but they're 2 ships in the night. He does have his Blink Dagger. The teleport coming in from Jakiro as well. Talus. They use a Dust. I think he wanted to smoke instead, maybe? Maybe he was assuming that there was somebody invisible near him. A little bit confusing on my part, but who am I to judge? I've definitely made those kind of plays before. They spot out Lava. And now with no Dust, it's going to be a little bit harder to deal with him. There is a Sentry available. Wooba making the aggressive play forward into the Sandstorm. They drop the Sentry Ward. He's trying to TP away. There is no stun available with the Ice Path having already been committed. And it looks like Wooba will be able, or the Sentry will be able to TP away from Wooba. Lava may not have a lot of net worth, but I feel like he is doing a fantastic job of making space. The problem is he really wants to have that Blink Dagger and the Aghanim Shard, and that's a long way away in terms of time and gold. Talus might be caught out here. He is forward, throwing the Macropyre Ice Path to zone this out. 4 heroes on him. Light Strike Array clips him. The X marks the spot, brings him back as well. And down he goes. The entire lineup of Wasted Youth brings down 1 support. Trying to get the courier in the bottom lane. It's only carrying a Clarity for the Terrorblade, but it would have still been worth killing that and preventing Terrorblade from receiving any items for the next 2 or 3 minutes. However, it does get away. Nomad continuing to push this lane. They're creating so much pressure on the map. Soul Invictus occupying the jungle in this area, but right over top of the tier 2s. And it means that if anybody on the side of Wasted Youth wants to come in, they have to play in areas where they don't know exactly where someone is, but it is being occupied. Blink forward, missing by Goat Satan, trying to throw the shrapnel out. A lot of juking around. X marks the spot onto Sniper. They do torrent him up. 2 caught in the torrent. Sniper and Snapfire. Losing track of where the fight is. Let's go back a second. That's the nice thing about replay casting. We're going to take a step back on this so I can actually see what the hell happened. Alright. X marks the spot. GSP catching out KJP and Nomad. And over here is where that happened. Burrow strike up to the high ground through the Macropyre, but you've got the Sniper taking the Assassinate to finish off Lava. Woe goes down in the meantime as well, and now they're making the chase onto Maniac. Maniac should be able to make it away. KJP getting chased down by the illusion from Terrorblade, but it is not very tanky, and a Scatterblast is more than enough to finish it off. I'd like to see Soul Invictus try to make a move for a tower now, but let's take a look at the items they've got and where they're going. So, 600 gold until Jakiro gets the Ice Shard, or not the Aghanim Shard, 600 gold and at least 5 minutes. The others are not available until at least 20 minutes into the game. And if he gets that, that's a pretty big deal. There is a Battle Fury on Ursa, so he can farm incredibly fast. His GPM should be spiking up pretty hard at this point in the game. Let's see here. Going for a mechanism on the Snapfire, that will lead to a lot of opportunities for sustained pushing and timing. And otherwise, though, I guess part of the issue is you really just don't have the tower damage on this team without having the Jakiro's Aghanim Shard. Mage Slayer will be taken on the Sniper, in fact, so Wooba caught out where he doesn't want to be. Boat is committed for it, though. So, small reprieve for Soul Invictus, as that is one ultimate with a reasonably long cooldown that will not be in play for the next minute and change. Goat Satan still continuing to occupy the bottom of the map. Lava is here to try and answer it. Lava with no remaining teleports. These current ones on cooldown anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. And he just has to back away as Nomad rotates in.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Whoa, dewarding might get caught here. Not able to defend their ward, though. And it looks like the Radiant are generally trying to occupy the opposite side of the map, which is not a bad thing to do when you can't fight and reclaim your own jungle. But even then, they're playing more towards their triangle, being a little bit non-committal. We might see Lava here try and defend his tier 2 tower, but with no other teleports coming in and everybody else just crowding that triangle, this is feeling pretty bad for Wasted Youth. Kunkka in towards the mid lane within rotation distance, but he has to go through this entire scary black zone to make it. KJP taking away the sentry ward as well. There is a observer on the high ground, in fact, for the Radiant that's telling them exactly everything that's going on. So that might be the reason why they're not making these rotations. Instead, just saying, hey, they've got 5 heroes here. They're not going to be able to push the tower very well. We'll just bide our time. Whoa, moving forward. Might find Goat Satan, but you got to be very careful. Goat Satan has the Blink Dagger. Again, incredibly strong at the moment. Should be closing in on level 12 very soon, and that'll give him level 2 Corrosive Haze, even less armor to deal with. Burrow strike forward. They're going to find KJP. Blink forward as well, but directly into the Sandstorm. KJP getting eaten alive, and now Goat Satan has to run away. Talus and Wooba connecting up in the river. Blink forward. Burrow strike from Lava, but Lava now has to face the consequences. Wooba is those consequences. Shallow Grave onto Lava, trying to keep him alive. Light Trick away, missing, and Laguna Blade onto Goat Satan. He's still caught by the X marks, though, so he is away. Oh, Epicenter whiffing. Goat Satan manages to put some distance between him and the rest of that team. Ice Path coming a little bit short in the top lane as they're going for Princess, who has been split pushing and farming this entire time. Goat Satan incredibly low on health. Just need a little bit more. Torrent missing. No X marks available for Kunkka, at least not with the range needed. And they get the tower on the side of Wasted Youth, but not finding any of those kills. Feels like the story of their match so far. Talus dewarding this up again. You saw the ping out from Wasted Youth onto the sentry, so they are paying great attention to the map, spotting out the sentry, spotting out the placements there. But this is always a comical thing, having two observers right next to each other with no sentry in sight. Goat Satan just farming up. He's looking for that Aghanim Scepter, so Aghanim Scepter will make him a lot tankier, a lot more effective at area control. And that would give a lot of area control shenaniganery, really, for the side of Soul Invictus. Moving out into the triangle now with a smoke. Catching the blink forward, Scatter Blast, missing the cookie. Maniac caught by Shallow Grave once more. Mortimer's Kiss is committed. I think that's the first time we've seen it this game. Not able to pick it out onto Woe, though, just barely outrunning it. KJP having a hard time leading with the projectile. A blink away, dodging the Ice Path cookie, not able to land onto lava, but the shrapnel in the woods bringing down Woe. And they're also going to find lava as well. 2 heroes down. This should be worth a tower at least. Soul Invictus making short work of the tier 1. They might even move on towards a tier 2 or go for Roche as soon as this is done. Jakiro teleporting away, dealing with the Terrorblade illusions in mid lane. It looks like they're trying to make a play onto the tier 2, perhaps. GSP is exposed up here, but the blink forward, crush onto 2. Light Strike Array picks up onto Goat Satan. Boat just before Kunkka dies. Goat Satan still alive, though, even through the Laguna Blade. He's trying to make it away, hugging the tree line. Blink forward, Burrow Strike. Lava's going to take the kill. Goat Satan losing his life, losing his 3x kill streak. But overall, not a bad exchange for Soul Invictus, just sticking around a little bit too long. Woe denying the regeneration rune. Insult to injury right there as Wooba was coming in. Wooba didn't need it either, but he was at least wanting to secure the rune.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower.
Excellent use of the illusions by Terrorblade to keep these lanes pushed, to continue making money. And even though you're behind in net worth to Nomad, who's using one of those new items that we talked about before, the Mage Slayer, gives him magic resistance, agility, and damage. Not the most amazing thing for a sniper who magic resist is only effective based on how much health you have. So having less health but more magic resist still means you're pretty squishy, even against magic. And also having the Maelstrom, though, so that's going to give him some AoE clear, and that's a big portion of why Sniper is able to maintain this net worth lead. Additionally, we talked about Ursa having the Battle Fury. He's also got his Phase Boots and is working towards... He just finished up his Basher. He's working towards a BKB now. Once he sees that BKB, I don't think there's going to be any easy way of bringing him down. Smoke play by Wasted Youth. Not going to find anybody, unfortunately. And this could be the opportunity to make a play possibly onto the Dazzle, as Goat Satan is kind of approaching that area in the mid lane. But Dazzle is wisely retreating. Goat Satan just farming these creeps out. And the ping is put onto the tier 2 tower. So I think Soul Invictus want to take the tower, take the outpost, make a play for Roshan. All is right in the world. So that tier 2 is gone here, but there's a trade happening in the top lane. So I believe that Wasted Youth will be taking this tier 2. Instead of going for Roche, Soul Invictus just immediately pushing on to the tier 3. They want to start this up, and look at it go. That Orb of Corrosion doing some work. We do see the single epicenter charges coming out here on the Sand King thanks to his Aghanim Shard. One of the new things, again, from this patch, every 700 units that he moves will be producing a single epicenter pulse. Just a minor damage increase and a good attack speed slow. Macro Pyre committed forward. They're trying to put damage onto the tower. Additionally, Jakiro has the Liquid Frost. Just look at how much it chunks this tower by. That damage over time was largely due to the Liquid Fire and the Liquid Frost. Now Soul Invictus moving away from the bottom lane, trying to restore their lanes to a sense of equilibrium. Scotty on the Terrorblade. He's starting to get tanky with Manta Scotty. But this should be a play in towards Roshan if I had to guess. And immediately wasted. Coming up here, smoked up. They want to make the play. The smoke is broken on Talus's face. Light Strike Array, Burrow Strike. Down goes Talus. But a Haste Rune on Goat Satan. He might be able to get some turnaround play. Backing off a little bit, trying to create a pocket. Nomad is there as well. Corrosive Haze onto Lava. And nobody is biting here. This could be bait, but there are no fish biting. Blink forward. The Burrow Strike coming out very clumsy from Lava. Saved by the Shallow Grave. They're trying to find damage on him as well. But here you go. The boat cutting short Mortimer's kisses. Goat Satan still very far forward. That's the flashbang. The Aghanim Shard from Sniper driving back Terrorblade. Terrorblade immediately melting Wooba. Wooba the definite carry for Soul Invictus. This fight is going terribly. Laguna Blade bringing down Sniper. Nomad out of the fight. And now Wasted Youth should be able to turn around on this and just go immediately into Roshan. They might have a catch on to Dazzle. Have to be a little bit careful with the Terrorblade illusions behind you. Again, with Scotty and Manta, they can be a little bit scary. Chasing off the Jakiro, and here we go. It does look like Wasted Youth is making the play onto Roshan. Still 15 seconds until Ursa respawns. With Roshan most likely on Terrorblade, I can't imagine it going on anybody else. Terrorblade, in my opinion, not one of the best Roshan carriers, strictly due to Metamorphosis. If you die with Metamorphosis on with the Aegis of the Immortal, then obviously you won't be able to use it when you get back. So you have to decide, do I use Metamorphosis for my first or my second life? But still definitely a big, beefy, raid boss style hero. Talus just pushing this lane in, trying to make as much space as he can. He's not going to be able to make it away, though. The Blink in Burrow Strike, Yule's set up. Down comes the LSA, and Talus is not long for this world. Lena, I believe that's actually Dragon Slayer Lena is what her initial hero name is, and definitely proving it right by bringing down Jakiro. Wooba. Ooh, picks up a Cloak of Flames. For any of you League of Legends players out there, it might be a pretty familiar item, similar to Sunfire Cape from that game. Will be giving armor, magic resist, and a nice little burn effect around him. Was recently just added in this patch. Snapfire has the Greaves as well, but it is a naked Greaves, her only item. Never a huge fan of that personally. I feel like you can do a lot more with a couple of small items outside of Greaves. Maybe a Glimmer Cape, maybe a Force Staff. Especially when you're dealing with a Lena and a Sand King. Both those could be pretty useful. But overall, Wasted Youth just playing very far back, very scared. Their lane's not doing phenomenally well or poorly. GSP trying to take back their outpost before that 30-minute mark. But likewise, though, Soul Invictus also playing very together, very far back. I think losing the Aegis kind of spooked them a little bit, and they don't want to be making any plays forward onto the Terrorblade. Lava in his Sandstorm. No True Sight there as well for the Dire. Wouldn't be able to catch him without Macropyre down. Goat Satan wants to chase. I think he's being waved off. Realizing there's probably a lot of heroes here. And all of these potential fights are just falling into these small little skirmishes, these harrying patterns. And nothing is capitalizing just yet. This is so common in low-level Dota. There's a lot of the fear and the understanding that the other team's almost as powerful as we are. In this case, Soul Invictus only being 3,000 gold ahead. It really is the game is basically completely even. Terrorblade's going to be looking for the Satanic, giving him huge amounts of lifesteal. We'll have to see how it plays out for him. Talus on the high ground, trying to defend this. There's the Ice Path, but we have the blink forward. No Epicenter committed just yet, just the regular pulses, but down goes Jakiro. Jakiro buying back into the game. The Tidal Wave for Kunkka as well. Tidal Wave, one of the new abilities once again. Reflection used by Terrorblade. He's in Metamorphosis form. They're making the play onto the high ground. This time, I believe that was the Epicenter being committed. No, still not used. Instead, just the random pulses. Mortimer Kiss is being thrown out. Down goes Nomad, though. They're not able to find the kill onto GSP just yet. GSP's Kunkka still so tanky. He makes it away from the Ice Path, and he still stays alive. Wooba in that BKB. GSP trying to TP away. You also have the Shallow Grave onto the Lina Maniac, and Maniac will survive this for the moment. GSP tried to XTP himself away that time, unfortunately, so he did come back, and not at full health. Throwing Torn behind him. Torn's not going to land. He's caught out by the Slithering Crush, and down goes Kunkka. GSP paying the price for his arrogance in XTPing back into that fight. Blink forward, trying to make the play onto Woe. That's what I get for taking a drink right as a blink's about to happen. Shallow Grave, but he's stunned out. He is going to die. Play onto the tier 2 is available. You've got the catapults here, and you're trying to keep that alive. The creep show up, break the back door, and here we go. The siege commences. Tier 2 is not long for this world. Lava still has Epicenter. I don't know if he knows that there's no True Sight there, though, and no Sandstorm is going to make him very, very hesitant to move in on this. Rotation down towards the bottom lane. This bottom tier 3 tower is already taking so much punishment, and Jakiro has been the cause of so much of that, thanks to, again, that Liquid Frost. He's going to go forward and put more of it on the tower now. Hundreds of health chipping away at a time. Lava tries to make it away just barely with the Burrow Strike. Through the assassination, that tier 3 tower does fall in the fight. Torrent Storm used by GSP. He's got both parts of the Ags. He's got Tidal Wave and Torrent Storm. So many buttons to deal with. Nomad is caught out here, though. Nomad going down. The sniper, the little dwarf man himself, gone from the fight. 2 heroes down for Soul Invictus. They're starting to have a hard time picking these kills up, but they're still making progress on objectives. So I guess it's kind of an even trade overall. Meanwhile, it looks like Wasted Youth, they're taking better fights, they're taking more fights, but they are having a very difficult time bringing down objectives and towers. Talus pump faking the Ice Path, realizing he can't catch Woe, and Woe getting the Haste Rune now, connecting with GSP and with Maniac, the entire team in fact, and they're going to make their own play onto the tier 2 tower. Ursa staying in the bottom lane, going to push the wave in. TP back at the last moment. Talus is already back here. Throws the Macropyre down to slow the push. Ice Path as well, but the blink forward. And Lava with the Burrow Strike trying to bring down Talus. Talus so low on health, and he will get caught. Maniac with a Shallow Grave, not able to be brought down just yet. They're going to turn onto Princess instead. Princess, the Terrorblade, the big carry for Wasted Youth is gone. And Goat Satan trying to play aggressive. Makes the zoning out play. They fall back and make the pocket onto GSP. GSP's Kunkka down for the count. Maniac makes it away and not able to get the bash, unfortunately, onto, I believe that was Dazzle. So everybody remaining for Wasted Youth retreats from the fight. With even heroes, it becomes difficult still to make these objective-driven plays. But Sniper is back. I'd like to see them again try to play for that bottom lane. The creep wave is already there. You have a one-hero power play, Soul Invictus. Do you have what it takes? Goat Satan has his BKB as well, has decided to forego the Aghanims temporarily in exchange for that. I like that. I always think of Slardar without a BKB as a one-way hero. Wooba, farming very aggressively, is going to back off before anyone can converge on him. He's also got no teleport, going all in for this Abyssal Blade. Has enough money for buyback as well. Double damage rune in the river. That could go the way of Sniper. Sniper has been a little bit steady in terms of his net worth for a while, but will be closing in on a BKB soon. GSP just farming up. He's got himself an Aghanim's Scepter, Shards, and the BKB. But I have to wonder, where's his damage coming from? He doesn't really have that much. A lot of drawing on the map. Wooba's still probably one of the most dangerous heroes on the map, to be honest. He's about to get that Abyssal Blade. Once he does, again, he has the ways of dealing with the Terrorblade illusions. He can deal with the Terrorblade himself. He's just going to dish out so much damage, relatively uncontested, and gets huge amounts of status resist as well. Smoke committed. They're going to make a play for the triangle, recognizing that Roche could be up, and it is, in fact. The courier scouting it out. Used to think there was a courier there. They've scouted Roche, seeing it is up, secured the triangle, throwing wards out, and Soul Invictus, a bit of a masterclass here, to be honest. There is a courier behind it that belongs to Ursa, so the Dire are aware of this. Melting Roshan in seconds flat. Sniper takes the Aegis, the cheese going to Ursa. I don't like Sniper as an Aegis carrier either. I feel like if he dies once, he is almost guaranteed to die again. Because the way you kill Sniper is getting on top of him. Same way with the Drow Ranger. And if Sniper's going to die, it means that your team's failed to protect him. I would have much more preferred seeing that go on to Ursa, personally. But overall, looking at these fights, because there's a bit of a lack of sticking damage, in my opinion, and sustained damage for the side of Wasted Youth, their real source of that coming from the Terrorblade. So I could reasonably see Sniper dying to, let's say, a dive-in Epicenter plus Laguna Blade. So that's probably not the worst idea, honestly, to give him the Aegis of the Immortal. Illusions and Catapults taking out the Tier 2 at bottom. Radiant continuing... The Tier 1, I'm sorry. I thought that was a Tier 2. That was just Tier 1. Radiant getting a couple of objectives for themselves, but they're still behind in that game. All of their heroes now. Well, some of their heroes. Playing forward. The trade by Soul Invictus taking out the Tier 2 tower. GSP with the tidal wave. There's a BKB from Wooba. Wooba wants to go forward. He has the Abyssal Blade. That gives him extra jump, but he's not choosing to use it just yet. Being zoned out a little bit. Just the retreat is solid. Torrent is going to land onto Goat Satan. The tower being chunked down, though. Another tidal wave. And that Laguna Blade did next to nothing. That Mage Slayer coming through with a lot of work. Wooba immediately melting out Maniac. GSP trying to move forward. He has the Torrent Storm running. Not going to catch out too much of anybody, though. KJP slowed down for the moment, trying to make it away. Still slowed by the Shadow Poison. Or the Poison Touch, rather. But finally, at full speed, trying to waddle away from the Terrorblade illusions. Tier 3 taken. That's 2 Tier 3s gone for... taken by Soul Invictus, but they haven't managed to get a barracks yet. Wooba going forward once more. He's got the Abyssal off cooldown. Almost BKB. 7-second BKB. Goat Satan, his BKB is also at 7 seconds. Nomad not rocking a BKB, but he's also a very positional hero. He's also got the Enchanted Quiver, so a lot of extra damage available for him at some points. Taking out the illusions. Soul Invictus feels very much in control here, I think. And with the Aegis, they're just deciding when they want to push. Wooba's ready to go in. No true sight onto Lava. He doesn't care. He just wants to take the barracks. Almost getting the ranged racks. Earthshock away. Tidal Wave. Used to defend. That ranged barracks has no health regeneration. Is going to die very, very soon. Wooba going back in for it once more. Should be popping the Enrage any moment. Should be popping the Enrage any moment. There he goes. Enraging away. Caught out by X Marks. And that is the epicenter committed by Lava. Lava diving in, but Goat Satan answering back in turn. Has the BKB active, not able to be sent away by the Tidal Wave. Lifted up, Burrow strike away. Mortimer Kiss is committed. Maniac caught in the Yules. Down goes... Whoa. Maniac and Lava as well. An immediate buyback from Lava. Lava has no epicenter. GSP, another Tidal Wave, just trying to make as much space as possible. Lava diving in on the back end. He adds the Burrow Strike on to Goat Satan. Goat Satan getting pushed away by the Cookie. And down goes Lava immediately, just absolutely eviscerated. And this fight going so strongly the way of Soul Invictus. I personally don't believe that there's much that you can do left. With no buybacks available, only 2 heroes up, and Metamorphosis is available, so I guess Terrorblade could do something, but it's going to take a Herculean effort on the side of Princess to be able to turn this around. Glyph popped, trying to hold for a moment, sending the Terrorblade illusions back out, just zoning away on it. It's not what you want to be doing with those illusions. You have to hard commit at some point. Wooba going in. This Goat Satan blinks forward, gets the stun out onto Terrorblade. They've got the Abyssal ready as well. He's just caught in the Yules for the moment, buying so much time. Pushed out of the Yules. There's the Shallow Grave, but he is stunned forever and a day. He throws the Sunder out and manages to get back to high health, but immediately brought down. Down goes GSP as well. Woe gone, Maniac gone. As soon as they respawn, they're out of the game again. And Princess... buying back, no Metamorphosis available. GG is called. Game 1 will be going the way of Soul Invictus with some convincing team fighting and very objective-driven Dota. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been Staged Games, and this is one of a replay cast, the first game of 2. I'll be giving you the next game in a separate video. I hope you enjoyed.